Good morning, everyone. Brenda Hillard here at Create with Brenda. I would like to welcome you to another episode of my YouTube channel. And of course, I've already said Create with Brenda. I'm Brenda Hillard, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Welcome. I'm excited you're here. Today I'm going to give you a fair warning. Today's video or tutorial is going to be a little long because there's some coloring involved, but I just want to show the beauty of Stampin' Blends. And it's a fun little card. It's for using the set Way to Goat, and I loved this set when I saw it in the catalog, and then it just kind of sat on my shelf and I never really used it. And so today I decided today's the day. We're pulling it off the shelf and we're going to make some really fun cards. So let's get started. Good, here we are. So as always, I have my monthly host code. Here it is for September. This month, with a minimum product order of $75, you will receive the turnover stamp set. And as I've described in previous videos, the turnover stamp set is really kind of fun. It includes stamps that have a line image on one side and then a solid on the other. So you stamp your line image, clean your stamp, take it off, reapply it the other direction onto your block, ink it up, and then it gives you the colored outline within your stamp. There's 3 different ornaments. Let me grab one so you can see it. There's 3 different ornament shapes. There's a heart, there's 2 different pumpkin shapes, and then there's a bat. So when you open it up, you'll see it's a 9 stamp set. Oh, and then there's this cute little bow too. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then it shows this gray piece, which is actually the back of the stamp that you use to highlight. Hence, it's the new reversibles, and this one they've named turnovers. So that's my gift to you with a minimum $75 product order this month. Order online, or if you're not an online order, you can just contact me, and I will help you place your order, and we'll use the host code. So let's get started with our project. Here's our simple but fun card for today. It says, "You're the GOAT, greatest of all time." And I've used the Ornate Garden DSP backed with a little piece of soft suede cardstock. And then the goat from the Way to Goat stamp set. And then I colored, I'm going to call it her, with the Stampin' Blends. Die cut with the oval shapes. And so let's get started, and I'll give you directions here. Like I said, it's a pretty simple card, but it's pretty fun. And I want to show you the new Stampin' Cut and Emboss. And I really didn't think that I was going to love it as much as I did. I thought that I was a Big Shot fan forever, but all right, I'm just inking up the goat with our Memento Tuxedo black ink, giving it, I always do a count to 3 or a count to 5 just to give the ink time to penetrate the paper. So now I'm going to set this aside, and the reason I'm setting it aside is I just want to make sure our ink dries really good before we use the Stampin' Blends, because they're alcohol based and they can sometimes make that ink bleed if it's not dry. So my little piece of Ornate Garden DSP measures 5 by 1.5, and I'll put all these measurements on my blog too, but you'll need a piece of soft suede. This one measures 1.5 by 5.25. And is all I'm going to do is take my Stampin' Seal and just run a little bit of this. Remember to roll back so that your Stampin' Seal works just like it's supposed to. And I've gotten so that I really love this. It's really a good It adheres really well. You don't have to worry about your cards falling apart. So there's the accent piece for the front. Again, I'm going to put a little Stampin' Seal on the back of that. And then we're going to bring that in, and I'm just going to put it like on the, just a little bit below the center of the front of our card, okay? And then I'm going to bring in the Early Espresso ink pad. And I wanted to use the You're the Goat, Greatest of All Times. So I'm just going to ink that up with the Early Espresso. And I do want to stamp this off because I have a very juicy ink pad. I just re-inked. So remember that, you guys. Don't, if your ink pads start getting light, do not throw them away. We order re-inkers, okay? So I should bring this in just a little bit. There you go. So I stamped our image down here on the bottom left. And then we're going to just set this aside. And I'm going to bring in the Big Shot. This is the new, now I have to go back out, sorry. The new Big Shot. Looks like this. Mine's been getting some, lots of love. The platform's flipped down. So you can see that that's there. Let me just grab my dies quickly. So, is what we're going to do is our plate system is now numbered. So you have plate number 1, plate number 2, and then our cutting plate number 3. And then I'm going to put our little goat in here. And oopsie. We'll get our oval. And like I said, this is from the Layering Ovals. Just going to put that on. Our other plate, cutting plate on the top. And then you crank it through. And just see how there's no snapping, no popping, no crunching. It's pretty amazing. So there's our little goat that we're going to use. And then I'm going to get my my scallop die. And I'm going to push my plate back through, and I just want a little piece of the crushed curry, and I'm just going to lay that right here on the platform with our scallop die. Good. Our cutting plate back on top, and then we're going to crank it through. And I said this before, but if you haven't seen that video, I do think they have the gear ratio set a lot higher in this die cutting machine because it's not nearly the number of turns, it seems to me, to get those through. So I'm going to set our little scalloped piece over there. And let's move this out of the way. There we go. All right, we're ready to color. So I'm going to bring in the smoky slate combo with the Stampin' Blends, and I'm going to start out with the light smoky slate. And I like using the paintbrush end when I have a large area like this to color. So I'm just going to give her a little color. And you don't have to worry about being exact because she's a little bit whimsical. She has the skinniest little legs. And if you haven't used our Stampin' Blends, you'll love them because there's no lines like when you use colored pencil or markers. Next, I'm going to come in with the dark smoky slate, and this time I'm going to use the bullet tip. And is all I'm going to do is just give a little bit of accent on the stamping lines that are already there, okay? And again, like I said, you don't have to be exact. This turns out super cute, just as it is. I'm going to bring in the light Flirty Flamingo, and I'm going to use the brush tip end again, and I'm going to give her just a little blush on her cheek there. And then I can go over that again with the Smoky Slate just to make it blend in a little bit better. Good. Bringing in this is the dark cinnamon cider, and I'm going to be using this for her hooves, just to give it a little definition, and then I'm going to use it for her little crop of hair here. I don't know if it's really hair, but that's what I'm going to call it. I'm not up on goat terminology, I guess. All right, then I'm going to take the Daffodil Delight and just give my daffodil a little bit of, or my flower, a little color. And then there's just this one little piece of leaf hanging out of her mouth that I'm using the Old Olive for. So there's our goat. How easy is she to color, right? And then I'm going to take my Stampin' Seal, and I'm going to give that a few little runs on the back here and add it to my scalloped die. And I'm going to bring in some Stampin' Dimensionals. And I get a little happy with my Stampin' Dimensionals, but you have to remember, I live in Minnesota, the land of high humidity, and so we don't want any sags on our little focal piece here. Taking the backs off the dimensional. Oops, sticks to my finger. And let's bring our card base back in. And as all I did was just pop this up right here. Good. And I thought I scored this, but I didn't. So I'm just going to fold it in half, burnish the crease, and there. And when I looked at it, it was like, ooh, it needs just a little something more. I don't know what, I didn't know what, but then I found the metallic cord that's in our combo ribbon pack. And so is what I did was I took just a little piece off, little piece off the end here. Seriously, you guys, I did 20 of these cards this morning and I had no problem tying a bow. And now here we are on camera. And we can't tie a bow. No, we got it. So I just adjusted it down because I don't want it too big. It's on our little goat, right? Her little neck. I'll trim that. And then using a glue dot, and I just kind of scrunch the glue dot up, and she's going to get that little bow right there on her neck. How cute, right? And easy. So I hope that down below you'll subscribe so that you get notifications of all of my upcoming episodes. And please leave me a comment. If you like the project, if you'd like to see something else, if the questions about product. So there it is. You're the GOAT. Greatest of all times. Have a good day, everybody. Talk to you soon.